Hey everybody, welcome to Secure the Seat Live. I'm your host, Minda Harts, and I'm so happy that you're here with us today. I hope you had a good weekend. How are you feeling? If you're watching us live, then today is Monday. If you're watching us later in the week, whatever day you're watching it, I hope you're having a great day. If it's your first time joining us, welcome. If you've been rocking with us every Monday at noon, welcome back. I hope that you've adjusted to the time change and all the things. And oddly enough, I have adjusted to the time change, which I've been okay with. Normally, I'm on that team. Let's complain about the time change, but I definitely am okay with it this time around. But I'm excited for today's show. It's Women's History Month, if for those who may not be aware. But so we're definitely amplifying and highlighting women all the time. But in a special way, it's happening tomorrow on Twitter Spaces. We're going to drop the link inside of the chat so you can join us. So tomorrow at 7 p.m. ET, in honor of Women's History Month, I'm doing my first production called The Memo Monologues. I have 6 actresses and my production partner, Tyler Young. We've come up with reimagined excerpts from my book, The Memo and Right Within. And so we're just gonna talk about intersectionality and the Karens and the wage gap. So think Vagina Monologues meets Insecure on Twitter Spaces, but it's an audio production. So it's just an hour. So I hope that you'll join us again. We'll drop that link in the chat. It's tomorrow, so we're going to celebrate all the things. I'm really excited. This is under my production company, Queen of Hearts Productions. It's my first produced segment, and so I'm really excited about that. So I hope that if you can join us, you will, and share it. It's going to be great. We did a run through a table read yesterday, and it just like to see it like coming together just warmed my heart. And then what I'm excited about right now is that my 3rd book is coming out next month, April 5th. You Are More Than Magic, the Black and Brown Girl's Guide to Finding Your Voice. I'm so excited, with Penguin Teen. So if you haven't had a chance to pre-order, please do that. Pre-orders matter. They matter so much if you're an author. And so please get that. But what I wanted to do before we get into today's show, I wanted to read a little bit from You Are More Than Magic, just to give you an idea of what it is. I'm a little nervous because this is the first time that I'm reading it out loud. I recorded the audiobook a couple weeks ago, and I'm just so excited to get this book into the hands of young Black and brown girls. And so I'm going to read just a little excerpt, and then we'll get started. But I hope that you are enjoying. Let us know what you think inside the chat. Again, welcome. So here we go. This is from the first chapter. So here it is. I hope you will consider letting your friends know what good looks like to you, especially when relationships don't make you feel like a healthy friendship should. Here's one story about a time I wish I had set clear boundaries with my white friends. In 8th grade, we could leave school at lunchtime and go off campus with our parent or guardian's permission. You had just enough time to walk about 10 minutes up the street, where there were 2 gas stations and a popular pizza place, and just enough time to walk back. If you were not back at school in time, you could lose your off-campus privileges. My mom and I had recently gotten the same new hairstyle, and we were feeling ourselves. It was a popular hairstyle you would see in all the Black magazines. The only issue was that you had to use the spray that kept your hair looking kind of greasy and wet, but it was the style to have if you were Black in the early 90s. I know some of you probably know what style that is. At any rate, that Monday, I went to school with my new hairstyle. At lunchtime, I left campus with my friends to walk to get a slice of pizza. And as we walked up the street, we passed the high school. You would sometimes see the older kids on their lunch break too. Many of my girlfriends liked this because they got to see the older boys they thought were cute. As we walked past the group of white boys, one of them hollered out, "Hey, Eazy-E." Now, I realize I'm much older than you, and you probably have no idea who Eazy-E is. Eazy-E was a West Coast rapper. He rocked a similar hairstyle in the 80s, but when he had it, it was called a jerry curl. I had no idea who the boy was talking to, and at first, it was just one of the boys. Then they started chanting it together like they were part of a boy band. Eazy-E, Eazy-E, Eazy-E. Suddenly, I realized they were talking to me. Worse, all my friends laughed and called me the grease ball. Don't touch Minda's hair. You'll need a towel afterwards, they joked. And that wasn't even the worst thing they said. Let's just say that I chose not to go off campus for a while after that day. And I begged my mom to let me grow out that wavy chemical out of my hair. I no longer wanted to be called the grease ball. That was the moment I started to hate my hair. I wish I had hair like my white friends. And if I'm being honest with you, thinking about that story still hurts, because from that moment forward, I was acutely aware of any hairstyle I chose. I only would later choose hairstyles that I thought the white kids wouldn't make fun of me for having. And that is just a little bit of You Are More Than Magic. I talk about what it's like to be one of the only kids in your class of color on teams, those sorts of things. Finding your voice. We all have a voice. We just have to decide how we want to use it. How to have difficult conversations. How to find good friends, right? Nobody tells you how to be a good friend, right? You know, and sometimes I think as young girls, we just want to be chosen. We want people to like us. And so sometimes we throw some of our values out of the window for that like, right? And so I just wanted to be very like clear and honest about some of that. And so I'm excited about You Are More Than Magic. So if you haven't gotten a chance, make sure that you get that. But there's so much more. I'm excited for all of you to I'll be honest, after reading it for the audible version, I'm like, this is for us too. it's for teenagers, but it's also for us too. So if you don't have enough of Minda Harts in your life books, then I suggest you get it for yourself too. But it's really good. And for parents and those white parents who have young teenagers, we want them to be able to show up the way that they should in equitable ways as teenagers. So when they get to be our age in the workplace, they don't take some of those behaviors and calling people easy E in the workplace. Okay, so had to share that one. But again, welcome to Secure the Seat. Today is exciting because I actually, our guest today is my brother. Many of you who watch the show know that me and Mike, we work together, and he does my producing and everything behind the scenes. But he also, besides working with me, he also sits at different intersections and has a coaching company. And so today we're going to talk about how we kick out procrastination in our life, because it's hard to secure your seat if you're constantly procrastinating. And so I often tell you that Mike is my twin. And so without further ado, let's bring my twin, Mike Harts, to the stage. Mike, you ready?
Let's do this. Let's do this.
What's up, brother? How are you?
How you doing, sis? Better than I deserve. Feeling good today.
Awesome. So for those who may not be familiar with you, Mike, tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Absolutely. So I've been coaching and speaking for over 15 years now. And one of the things I'm passionate and excited about is helping people accomplish their highest calling and dreams. I think each and every one of us has a dream and a calling in our lives. We just need somebody to hold us accountable sometime, because we procrastinate a lot of times on the greatest things in our life. We'll do things for workplaces. We'll bend over backwards for people who don't like us. We'll go to places for our job and work and build everybody else's empire. But I think it's time to stop procrastinating on our own empire and start building the things that are inside of us already from birth.
Absolutely. We're already dropping the tambourine moments. And so listen, let's get into it, because we all have probably procrastinated in some way, shape, or form. If you are of the ministry of procrastination, let us know in the chat. I know that I am one of those people that wait till the last minute almost to do just about everything. I'm not happy to tell you that. And so this is for me today. But let's start here, Mike. How does procrastination stop us from being our most productive and healthiest selves?
Yeah, great question, Minda. I think everything starts with a definition. So my definition of procrastination is simply greatness delayed. Procrastination is greatness delayed. There is something great you were meant to do, but you're simply delaying it. So every time you delay washing your car or cleaning out your trunk or cleaning out your closet, it may not be costing you direct dollars right now, but it's a part of your character. It's a part of your DNA. You are telling yourself everything important around me, I'm going to delay. So it carries on to other areas of your life. So one of the things that I tell my clients is once you do those tasks around you that have been bugging you, it opens up your mind to greater things, right? Once you clean your closet out, now you can build that website of your dreams. Once you take your pet to the vet and get his shots or her shots, you can finally breathe because that's something that's immediate and needs to be done. So all the little tasks around you that are consequential, you need to get those out of the way so you can do the bigger things. Most of the things we procrastinate on are things when it comes to do to our well-being. We won't procrastinate on reports from work that are consequential. We won't procrastinate on when people are fully depending on us to do A, B, and C tasks. We always procrastinate on things that have to do with our higher self, like building our dream website, right? We won't pay the person to build it. We won't do it ourselves. We'll just keep saying, oh man, I'll get to it one day. But what if when you build that website of your dreams, or you start that business of your dreams, or you finally fill out those tax forms to start your company, what if that opens up a new door to your family, to your friends, to your calling, to your dreams? What if that thing that you've been procrastinating on does wonders for you? So procrastination is greatness delayed. You have greatness inside of you. There's something inside of you. Remember, before you were born, before you were in your mother's womb, I knew you. I formed you for something great. You were formed for greater things, and you have to accomplish that by stop procrastinating on things that comes to you. You have to start putting yourself first. Once you take care of yourself, you can take care of everybody else. But if you don't take care of yourself, then you can't take care of anybody else.
Listen, let me get my tambourine. Greatness delayed. I know the chat is loving that because it is greatness delayed. I often think about those times in my life where I've put something off and then an opportunity presented itself, like, you're supposed to go pick up your business cards, or you keep pushing it off, and then, you're out and you meet somebody and they're like, do you have a business card? And you're like, I should have done it. I should have had it, right? Those sorts of things. And I think that, again, like you said, Mike, because Michael is my brother, I have a name that I call him. So I want to say that name, and I'm like stopping myself from doing it because I know that it will not be a tambourine moment once. So listen,
Chad, I'm going to be asking for it. So thank you.
But I do think it's very important because whatever we have been putting off for ourselves, right? This is how do we bring it back to center, right? We will stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning to get the report done. We'll do whatever we have to do. But when it comes to our things, we push it to the side, right? And those are the things that are just as important as all the other things. And so I'm glad that you said that. So I see that there's some congregation members who are members, active members of the Church of Procrastination in the chat. So Mike, for those people, so they want to get delivered today. They want to get delivered, including myself. I am the main usher of procrastination. So what are some tips we can start using today, right now, to kick procrastination out of our lives?
Yeah, one of the things that I think procrastination, it starts, in our childhood. A lot of the things that we struggle with nowadays, it starts with our childhood. And one of the things that we understood growing up with awesome parents that we did was our father was on top of things, our mom was on top of things, and you would have thought some of that would have rolled off on me, but I struggle with procrastination to this day. And one of the things that I realized was when you have great examples around you, you must mimic what they do. And when it comes to the areas of procrastination, one of the things I always saw growing up was when it came down to doing the important business of like renewing your license or, cleaning that closet or doing what I always saw my parents on top of it. So growing up, seeing that when I became an adult, I should have mimicked a lot of those stuff, but I didn't in a lot of areas. So looking back, when you have good examples when it comes to anti-procrastination, you must follow those examples. One of the tips I will give everyone who's listening is don't assume you have tomorrow to do it, because tomorrow will come with ideas of its own. Tomorrow comes with a mind of its own. The boss is going to have new projects. If you have children, you're going to have different things to do. So you have to assume that today is your last day to do all important things for yourself. If you're going to delay, see, procrastination in itself isn't always bad, because we should procrastinate on negative thinking. We should procrastinate on depressive thoughts. We should procrastinate on all those things that affect us negatively. But one of the things that we do not want to procrastinate on are things when it comes to ourselves. And a lot of times in life, we get it opposite. We don't delay anything that has to do with our thought life that's bad. We'll accept anything that's bad. But we procrastinate on when it comes to, our mental health, speaking to ourselves, speaking things into existence, speaking life in situations. I always say God has a purpose and a plan for each and every one of our lives, but we have to call out that purpose. We have to speak that purpose into existence. If we don't do that and we procrastinate on, all the wrong things, then our lives will not be fully fulfilled and be successful. So all procrastination is not bad. We just have to find the right form of it. So we should procrastinate on everything negative, and we should attract everything positive toward our lives, Linda.
That is a really great tip, because that's something that's tangible, right? That's tangible for us to do, right? Procrastinate on the things that are not serving us and move toward the things that are, and get them accomplished today. Right? Because it's important. We may, like you said, Mike, we have other things to do tomorrow. We have the to-do list just gets bigger the more we push our greatness off, right? And so I think it's so important that we do that. I've been procrastinating on taxes and things of the sort, and and I need to get my life together with that. There's just certain things, but like you said, we will accept that sometimes that negative stuff, and we will marinate on that, and we'll let that in. We're like, let's go procrastinate to bring those thoughts here. But I think it's important to, like you said, delay those things and move toward our greatness. And listen, the gem for today is procrastination is your greatness delayed, as Mike said. And I know that the chat has been blowing up with that. So let the church, let the saints say amen. The last question that I want to ask you, Mike, before we get into our bonus round, it's so good. I see folks are watching us here on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter, and YouTube. And so we thank you for your comments in the chat. If people want to find out more about your coaching around this, what can they expect when working with you?
Absolutely. Go to mikeharts.com. That's the first thing. One of the things that I will say, Minda, is a lot of people in life say, show me your family, I'll show you your future. Show me this, I'll show you your future. What I tell people is, show me your dream and I'll show you your future. Each and every one of us has a dream inside of us. Each and every one of us has an idea inside of us that should wake us up every day. We hear certain speakers and certain influencers say, I don't need an alarm clock, my dream wakes me up. But there's some truth to that. We have to find our purpose in our dream, in our calling, and that should move us forward. That should wake us up. That should get us into our next direction in our next season in life. When you do not have a dream, when you do not have a purpose, you have nothing to look forward to. So the reason why children and kids are full of joy and full of energy and full of happiness all the time, because they always have something to look forward to. Somebody's always encouraging them. Somebody's always telling them they're doing a great job. You know what we do to each other, Minda? We tear each other down. In this space of DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, you see people that you want to help, you want to nurture people. And we see all kinds of people tearing each other down. We have to take the childlike mindset in life and take it to the next level. We all have dreams. We all have goals. We all have a future, but we have to make our future catapult us into the next direction and the next destiny in life. And what I help people do in life is make hard things simple. So if you have a huge dream, let's break it down into small pieces. What can you do today? Start a Twitter page, get a .com name, build a website that you're proud of, start a Facebook page. Whatever you can do right now, small, will lead you to the next season in your life. A lot of times, Menda, what we do is we look at our dream and we're like, oh man, we're wore out even before we start the dream. I believe that everybody can accomplish their dream, but I just believe that we need to be held accountable with people around us to accomplish our dream to the highest level. Because when we hold ourselves accountable, it doesn't work. I mean, I can speak for myself. When I try to hold myself accountable, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this. I have nobody to answer to. But what we do at our coaching firm is we hold people accountable. You said you want to be this, let's do it. Well, no. You said you want to do this, let's do it. Well, I don't have the money. You don't have the money to start a free Twitter page? You don't have the money to start a free, you don't have the, yes, you do. Let's hold you accountable and get you to the next level. And that's what I do in helping my clients.
I love it. So if you want to find out more about the work that Mike's doing, or you have a podcast or a show, you want to continue the conversation, definitely go to mikeharts.com. You can find out more, follow him on his social assets. And I'm just so, let me have a sister moment here, Michael. But I'm just proud of him. We're twins, but I'm older, so it's just been very, very good to just see my brother grow and shine. And I'm just so honored that we get to work together, and I'm supported. I often say that success is not a solo sport, and it definitely isn't. And my success is not a solo sport. It's having a good people around me, coaching me, mentoring me, all those sorts of things, loving me. All of you watching who show up every week, who buy the books, who come to things. You're part of my squad as well. And I just want to thank you all for all that you do. So listen, let's get into the bonus round of things. If you have any questions, if we have time, we'll get to them, but definitely pop them in the chat. I've loved this conversation so much, because getting into the week, listen, there's some things we got to get done, and we cannot procrastinate on our greatness. We will not let our greatness be delayed. Let that be the tweetable of the week, okay, of the month, rather, of the year. Let it be a lifestyle. Let's just take it a step further than that. But for those who've never been with us, I am a lover of grits and rap lyrics, and I always ask my guests, how they have their grits, which I already know, Michael, that you don't really eat grits like that, but humor me today.
I like when you come home and cook them, and then I don't eat them.
Thank you. There's only one way to eat grits, is salt and butter, sometimes with shrimp, but it's very good. I actually yesterday ordered some grits from a place because I didn't feel like cooking them, and I was very disappointed. So all grits are not created equal. We'll just say that right now. But with a good bowl of grits is a good rap lyric. What is your favorite rap lyric and why?
First of all, I like to say I love sugar in my grits. That's the first thing. But I have a rap lyric by none other than Shaq. If you don't know, Shaq was an excellent rapper back in the day. Actually, he wasn't. But here's a good lyric from him. It says, "You better make way and stop, 'cause I'm hostile. I get hyped like church choirs singing gospel."
I like it. Now, why did you choose that one?
Because it's from Shaq, So, that's hilarious. I mean, it's from Shaq. So, I mean, you can't go wrong by quoting Shaq.
I did not expect that to be your lyric today, but I'm sure Shaq is somewhere happy that somebody is quoting. So thank you for that, and it's really apropos, that lyric, because the church, the chat has been going off the entire conversation. Another question that I ask every guest is, how do we leave things better than we found it? Many people are going back into the workplace physically. And what is one thing that we can do to make the workplace better than we found it?
Absolutely. Shout out to my parents, Pastor Larry Harts. And I just want to say this. When we talk about making the workplace better and being leaders, a lot of people look at leadership as something outside of themselves. But every time you step into a work environment and you compose yourself, or you don't gossip about other people, gossip in the workplace has gotten out of hand. And you carry yourself and you compose yourself in a way that nobody else does. That's showing leadership. What is your difference in life? What makes you different than anybody else? We got a lot of people trying to be carbon copies of each other, but we don't have a lot of difference. So one of the things that we tell leaders, we have to tell people, because we all are leaders, is that you have to find what separates you and own that and kill it every day and do what separates you. If you're a kind person, don't try to change. If you're a sweet person, don't try to change. If you're a quiet person, be quiet. Do what you got to do. Be yourself, own it, and do what God created you to do. Be yourself and live in that moment and own those workplaces, because you're special and you're unique. You have a calling and a purpose in your life, and you are unique to yourself, and be that unique leader that you're called to be.
That part. And when we're our healthiest, we can be our most authentic, and we can be we can bring our authentic selves to work when we've accepted the great things about ourselves that we have. So thank you for that. And I hope that all of you are thinking about it in that way. Very much appreciative of that. Again, Mike, where can people find you for more?
Absolutely. All my social media handles are at Mike Harts now. And my website, if you're looking to book me as a speaker or coach, it's mikeharts.com.
The Harts, Team Harts is taking over for the for the tutu and beyond. So we're out here appreciative of all the gems that you dropped today, Mike. And also, for many of you who join us every week, you know that we have a monthly affirmation that we're on. So Mike, can you share a little bit about March's affirmation and keep people inspired as we get into the rest of the week?
Absolutely. We've been talking about, for the month of March, you are right where you're supposed to be. A lot of times we look around and we go, man, where am I at in my life? This is fell apart. This is going well. This is kind of going well. But you have to continue to tell yourself you are right where you are supposed to be. You are right in your calling. You're right in your purpose. You're right in your season. But you have to continue to affirm those things, because life will affirm itself. Tragedy will schedule itself, but you have to continue to affirm you are right where you're supposed to be. Your family is right where you're supposed to be. Your mind is right where you're supposed to be. And as Minda said last week, if you are not right where you're supposed to be, get the help it takes to get right where you're supposed to be. Get the book Right Within. I told you guys last week, if you're not right within, you can't help anybody else. We said earlier in the show, if you have to continue to affirm yourself, affirm your calling, affirm what you know is best about you, and be your best self. You are right where you're supposed to be. Drop that in the chat. Tell your family that. Tell your friends that. Tell everybody that's around you. You are right where you're supposed to be.
We love it. We love it. We are right where we're supposed to be. You know, it's interesting because I'm hearing you talk, and if anybody's heard me speak, or you read my books or whatever, and Mike, if you can't tell, we did grow up in a preacher's home, and so we can't help but preach when we talk at certain times. It's in the DNA. So you're coming to church whether you want to or not. That's just how we operate in some way, shape, or form. But appreciate the words that you had to say. We appreciate each and every one of you. I hope that you will not let your greatness be delayed, as Mike told us today. Let's kick procrastination out. The last thing that I want to remind you is that tomorrow on Twitter Spaces at 7 p.m., I'm going to drop the link in the chat. I'm doing my first production called The Memo Monologue. And I'm really super excited about it, along with a friend of mine who's a writer and producer and a very funny woman, Tyler Young. And we have 6 actresses that are reenacting stories that I tell in both of my books, The Memo and Right Within. So we're doing that in honor of Women's History Month. So we're talking about intersectionality, the wage gap, Karens, the whole 9. So I'm super excited about that. So make sure that you get that out. Join us. If you are not on Twitter, you still have time. Don't procrastinate, okay? You can get yourself a Twitter page. Twitter has something called Twitter Spaces, which is an audio platform that you can listen from your phone, and you can be in your favorite outfit. No, you don't have to show your face. All you have to do is listen. It's like old school, back in the day when kids used to sit next to the radio and listen to whatever they used to listen to the shows. And so that's kind of the vibes. So definitely join us. But today has been such a great time. I'm honored to have had my brother and colleague on today to remind us. So final thoughts, Mike, before we end the show?
Yeah, this was great. Thank you so much for having me on, Minda. And let's not delay our greatness anymore. Go get it today. It's right there for the taking. You guys got this. Let's get it. This is our month. This is our time. This is our season. Thank you so much, Minda. I really appreciate you. Yeah,
so my pleasure. This has been great for me too. There's some things that I've been pushing off. One of our other team members, Leo, I've been procrastinating a bunch of stuff. I'll be like, tomorrow. And so I don't want my greatness to be delayed either. And so we're wishing you nothing but a great rest of your week. Keep securing your seat, and we'll see you next Monday at noon. Have a good one.
Thank you, everybody.